Okay, we're back. Section 5.4 bin utils. So, you see here, there's nothing. We know where we are. We're at home $LFS, or home LFS. Let's go to CD into LFS sources. Okay. Now, some people may get confused about how to do this. I know I did when I first started. And what we essentially want to do is we want to extract our directory, okay, or a tarball, okay. And I did this silently, but we want to extract the tarball, go into the extracted package, which in this case will be binutils 2.25. From within that directory, we want to create a build directory. This is not for every package, but for at least 5 of them. We want to create a build directory, jump into the binutils, say build directory, and we want to build from within there. And the reason for this is that we need to keep we're not building the entire package at the same time, at one time. We're building parts of the package, and we're building parts of another package, of the other packages, and eventually we will be able to build the entire package. But we don't have an operating system as is right now. We need to build a tool chain to then jump into the operating system. Okay. So basically, you want to say cd into binutils 2.25. And per the book it says make directory for both back up and out. I'm going to call that binutils build. Okay? Because if you look here, this is our entire binutils directory. If we go make install and everything else that we need to in here, it is possible that other things may get in the way and also be made at the same time and cause a whole bunch of errors, because things that are being made, we don't have anything else as far as dependencies go that they use to even be made. Okay, so it would be error city. So cd up into binutils build. Okay, we're taking little segments. We're pretty much building the bare minimal right now to work up to the operating system. Okay, cd into binutils build. And a lot of people may get confused at where exactly are we when we do this. Okay, and I know I got confused because I was building outside of the sources directory. I was actually somewhere in no man's land. Okay, if you look where we are, you can actually go back up one level into the sources directory. Let's ls and let's say grep for binutils. Okay, we are in the sources directory. We extracted our tarball. We then went inside of our extracted package, and from within there we built a package, or built a directory, binutils build, or working environment, or working directory, and we built that at the same level as everything else in the sources directory. Okay, so we're not on planet X. Okay, cool. Now, if you don't do this, like I said, you could error out. You could build parts of the package that you should not build at this particular time. Or I think I tried it in 7.6 just to see what would happen, and it wouldn't even let me build that part of the package within that current directory. I had to actually make a binutils build. So there you go. But I don't like for people to get confused about this particular thing here, because it's not really all that it's amped up to be when you look at it. Okay, so now we will say binutils 2.25 configure prefix equals tools, space and a new line will drop you down with sysroot equals $LFS, okay, with lib path equal tools lib. Okay, now I could do a new line, or I'll do it in the next one. Say target equals $LFS underscore target, or just keep stringing them along. Disable NLS, disable W error, and you may see me do that from time to time. Okay, enter. But the new line is just a convention, and later versions they started doing that. But in versions say 6.2 to 6.8, they did it left to right. It's entirely up to you how you want to string them along there. But as long as you do put the right things like spaces and your dashes and stuff like that, you will be okay. Okay. Now I am going to say make, and this is very important. Listen. If building for an x86-64, which is a 64-bit, create a symlink to ensure the sanity of the toolchain. Okay, if you're building on a 64-bit, you need to do this. Okay, however, I'm building on a 32-bit, and I can skip right over that. But if you're building on a 64, this is what you need to do. This is going to actually link your tools library to another library, which is tools lib64. And if you don't do that, then you're not building on a 64-bit anymore. Okay? So I can say make, and I'm going to string these together and say make install. Okay. Now, there is such a thing called SBUs. SBUs stand for System Build Unit. Okay, and you can gauge approximately how long one package should take. Now, there's a brief on SBUs. I think SBUs are gauged from the time you actually extract a package to the time you actually do make install, and then wrap it up and remove it. Okay. I know my SBUs here. 1 gig of RAM on a Pentium 4 is approximately 5 minutes to 1 SBU. Okay, your SBUs may change. If you have, say, 8 gigs of RAM, it'll be 8 times greater than that. If you have, let's see, 512 of RAM, then your SBUs may be 10 to 1. Okay, but keep an idea on what your machine does as far as SBU time. I would time out a program in some to figure out if your SBUs are what you think they are. This being that some SBUs are enormous. GCC Pass or GCC Final, I think, is like 68 SBUs. So for me, that's like what? 5 into 68 is 340 minutes. What's that divided by 60? 360 is 6 hours. Alright? So you want to know approximately your SBU ratio. The SBUs can be quite big. That means you can go do other things. You can live your life, walk your dog, mow your grass, go to sleep. Okay? And another thing is too, if something is supposed to take, say, 2 SBUs, you know 2 SBUs for you may be 5 minutes, and you're still sitting there 4 hours later, you could have had a serious problem, and maybe you should consider about how to, go about fixing that problem. Okay? So, it's a good idea to know what time your stuff may be done. Okay? And another thing about the packages here, some people get confused. We extract a package like binutils.tar.gz or whatever it was. You go into it, and then when you're done that particular section, you don't delete the tarball. You can delete the extracted package, the binutils build. You can delete the binutils 2.5 extracted package. Okay, but don't delete the tarball, because this is, like I said, pass 1. Okay, and I got confused on this too. Pass 1, there's binutils pass 2. Okay, you'll see it here, same as GCC. Okay, so basically on pass 1 we're building minimal functionality. GCC, pass 1, same, minimal functionality. Okay, then we need to install other things like glibc and our standard C++ libraries, then to build more of GCC and binutils. Okay, so that's how it works. I don't ever delete any of my tarballs until my system's up and running. I still have them in my sources directory. I leave them around. I upload them. I have a personal server I upload them to, just in case I ever want to use those, particular packages again. So that's how we do. And I think my binutils is almost done. SBUs are calculated. Let's see. Many people would like to provide time estimates. Okay, the SBU measure works as follows. The first package to be compiled from this book is binutils. Yeah. Time it takes to compile this package is what we'll refer to as SBU. Okay. Okay. So, as I thought, SBUs are the amount of time it takes to compile the package, not from start to finish extraction and everything else. Okay, the actual compile or the actual make install, or I think the actual compile would start around the configure. No, maybe not. Okay, so that's how SBUs work, and it's good to know, that it's good to keep an eye on them. Like I said, in case something times out. I'm doing SSH here, and it has happened a bazillion times in the past where a program may be expected to be done within a half an hour, and I'm still waiting maybe an hour and a half. Okay, that's 3 times as long. At any other time, it may be done in a half an hour, and come to find out, my internet connection blinked and SSH won't let me back in. Okay, so I mean, anything's possible. SSH has nothing to deal with the LFS system. Okay, it could be a crappy connection, and which I have had. I hope it doesn't stay that way. Have had that in the past. So that's how we build. GCC is always a pain in the butt. Syntax is crazy. You'll see that in the next tutorial. We really don't have to worry about making sure that our LFS packages are as the LFS user. Okay. Not the ones we downloaded. We really don't have to worry about that. What is new since the last release? I do know that there's, these programs have been updated, and some other things have been added. Okay, ACL. I'll point the ones out that have been added. But as far as the whole build experience goes, it's about the same. It's about the same. Okay, well, that's what I got. That's a brief, and on the next one we'll come back and we'll go to binutils. We need to do what? Make install. Oh, we're not done. I knew it was coming. There we go. Okay, now this is important. After we're done, we ran make and make install. Okay, we're not 64-bit, we're 32-bit, so we don't need to add the case statement. What we want to do is we want to CD back up, and you see we're in the sources directory. Okay, we want to remove binutils build and our binutils extracted package, not our tarball. Okay, done. Now we want to tar xvf or other package GCC. And this is where I'll stop the video, and we'll keep it going. Peace out.